taking on Sunny Slope, was getting ready to head over to Peoria Seton Catholic when it was like, this is going on in North Phoenix.
Yeah.
Someone's going to need to bolt over there. So I went over there, caught the second half just in time to see Pinnacle get things clicking and figure it out. They took that one against Desert Ridge. Desert Ridge led 17-10 at the half. And like I said, things just weren't clicking for J.D. Johnson in this Pinnacle offense. He threw a couple interceptions. It just was not going well for the Pioneers. And then as soon as I got there, they came out kicking and got it going. But on the other side of this one is Red Mountain. And we talk about every year how they are a surprising playoff team that really gets it going in the playoffs here. So keeping an eye on this one, will it be another slow first half for Pinnacle where it's a close one, or are they going to come out swinging like they need to in order to get it done?
I have a feeling usually when it's a higher seed that kind of struggles in the first half of their first game, they kind of right the ship, and then it's all kind of good moving forward. I just got to give a shout out to Red Mountain real quick, because one of the many bold predictions I made was that Queen Creek would be making a run, and they matched up well against Pinnacle round 2 and all of this stuff, and I kind of overlooked Red Mountain a little bit. But 2 years ago, they won. They made it to the state semis as a 13 seed. They made it to the state semis last year as a 7 seed. So a lower tier seed. And Devin, if you wouldn't mind putting the photo up right now. I made that prediction dressed like this. Why are you going to take that seriously from that guy who is wearing that outfit? So we are back in our regular clothes.
Okay, but the smirk, like, look at the evil.
That was the...
Oh, man.
Scariest little, that was the scariest, like, screenshot you've ever sent me.
Well, so what happened was we were getting the show ready to post, and I'm watching it export, and that pops up, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, like, Lordy. So we're in different clothes.
You can take us a little bit more seriously this week.
I brought the cymbals back. I had to do that once. I know you're going to go into therapy because of it, so I'm just going to get rid of them. I did not know he had that. I know. She doesn't miss me on Wednesdays.
The days we have off, it's like, okay, no cymbals, no crazy Jordan. All right. Next
Her
game
ears are better. That's great.
Next game we're going to take a look at Desert Vista and Perry. We've talked about the talent of these two teams. Obviously, Desert Vista's run game, they have a few running backs that they like to go to. Perry with Chubba Purdy at the helm there. He's got receivers that he can get to all over the field. I saw Perry against Sandra Day O'Connor, and that game was a college basketball game. And I had to bolt somewhere else after that one, so I didn't even get to stay for the end of that game. But this is not the Perry team that was in that game. They have come out in the second half of the season and dominated, it seems.
And it seems like, at least in that game, kind of the run that O'Connor made was when a lot of the 2s and the 3s were already in.
Towards that second half, because it did seem like this was a blowout by Perry. And you're right, yeah. Yeah,
it was I'd say a definitive 2.5 quarters for Perry. But the difference this year in Perry is their running game. They've always had a solid running game. Now it seems to be one of their bigger strengths. And not to say that Chubba Purdy can't air it out, because he totally can. And Colby Dickey has been just a great weapon for him on the outside. Again, one of the more underrated receivers, I feel like, in this state. And they're doing all of this without Deshane James. They've done it all year.
That's the storyline of Perry this year.
And they just continue to play really well. Looking back to October 12th, they beat Brophy 31-3, Hamilton 63-28. Tough game against Basha 54-41 that they won, and then back-to-back weeks with Basha 38-21. And then on the other side, you have Desert Vista that seems to be clicking as well.
I was so impressed with Desert Vista when I saw them earlier this season.
And they beat even without Devin Larson, I'll still stand by this, a tough Queen Creek team, 34-28. And then take care of business against Chaparral. I know Jack Miller was out, but 40-14, and it just looked like from Eric's footage, it was just long run after long run after long run. And he said just Brett Johnson on that defensive line was just controlling and kind of doing whatever he wanted on the field.
And we talked about Brett Johnson too there. So lots of good stuff between those two games. We have a lot more playoff coverage that we're going to get to. We're going to take a look at that Higley-Castile game, Cienega Centennial, as well as some of these rematches that we're seeing here in the quarterfinals.
A lot in 5A and 3A.
Several of those there. We're going to look in at our number 1 seeds, a couple of those number 2 seeds as well. And then we're going to get into our playmakers that can kind of change the game, the X factor or the great equalizer. And we take a look at a few upsets as well. So a lot of good playoff coverage, good playoff talk coming up. We have Devin Henry joining us later in the show as well. So coming up next, we're going to have Highland head coach Brock Farrell. Keep it right here on the Friday Night 360 AZ preview show. We've got a lot coming at you.